Thanks for joining us here at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connor. Another great Wednesday.
Yeah, good morning to you. I'm Evan Narani. We want to kick it off with a quick check of the forecast where things are pretty mild out there for now. We were talking about how cold those overnight temperatures have been, but we're doing all right now, mostly in the 50s along the coast and 40s inland. Temperatures are going to be making their way to the 60s and 70s by the afternoon, but we do have a warm up on the way as well as a clearing of the skies expected by the end of this week. So we'll give you more details on what to expect in the later forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
I mean, do you see any issues wrong with what you did? No. Just answer the question. Do you see? Jose, answer the question. Do you think it was appropriate behavior?
If it's not one thing,
do you think that's appropriate, though? No, but I'm asking you. Do you think that was appropriate behavior, what you did?
You should just vote, Marcus. You clearly already had an agenda. You've been working on it for a while. Let's not continue to drag this out.
So you're not going to answer the question?
The top story we have this morning, National City moving forward with the censure of newly re-elected councilman Jose Rodriguez.
CBS 8's Regina Yorita live in National City with what he's accused of. And boy, some of these heated moments during this hearing here.
Yeah, guys, and we also have to mention that this comes after Councilmember Jose Rodriguez won by a landslide to be reelected for the position that he's in right now. So last night during a heated debate, they addressed some of the allegations they believe Councilmember Rodriguez has violated under the city's code of conduct. Take a listen.
Councilman Rodriguez, the actions attributed to you sending out an email with a picture of my house simply because Trump flags adorn my home in my front yard and stating that no Trumpers should make any decisions in National City not only attack my freedom of expression, but intensified fear among my family and community. These actions question the very ethos of who we are as a city and what we stand for as a council.
And that is just a part of what was mentioned in the meeting. The heated debate comes after City Council raised questions over certain expenses made by Councilmember Rodriguez. According to Mayor Ron Morrison, some of the alleged violations include using city contractors and city hired staff under his control that was for his campaign, hiring people involved in his campaign to be city employees. There's also concern over a city event that happened last year where the council member gave away around 300 turkeys and asked the city to reimburse him for more than $7,000. It's unclear how far a censure may impact Rodriguez, but Mayor Morrison during the meeting says they could discuss removing him from certain boards and commissions. Now, Councilmember Rodriguez has announced before that this has been all part of a political game. He believes the accusations of using city resources for his campaign was, quote, him doing his job. Last night, the council member added that he just wants to move forward and focus on his constituents.
I urge my colleagues to focus on addressing our neighborhood issues instead of wasting taxpayer dollars, which this is, on baseless accusations. And look, the election is over, guys. Let's move on.
And as mentioned, the city council did move forward with censuring Councilmember Jose Rodriguez, but this move came after they heard from speakers who shared the positive experiences and some of the work that he has done around the community, including helping flood victims. Now, a special meeting is supposed to take place next week to know what comes next. That's latest here in National City. I'll send it back to you.
Regina, thank you. Today, State Senator Steve Padilla and local leaders are expected to announce new legislation to collect toll fees for sewage cleanup. Now, if passed, the tolls would fund projects to clean up the ongoing sewage crisis in the South Bay and to upgrade sewage treatment facilities. The press conference is at 9 a.m. today in Imperial Beach, and we will update you as soon as we learn more. This morning, San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria will announce his plans to address next year's budget deficit after voters shot down Measure E. It would have increased the city's sales tax by 1% to generate $400 million annually. A report by the independent budget analyst shows San Diego faces more than $1 billion in deficits over 5 years. And we do have final election results here this morning. Look at this. An extremely close race that we've been watching, the District 4 City Council seat in Poway. Jenny Maeda came out on top, defeating Caitlin Frank by just 12 votes. And in another close race, incumbent Oceanside Mayor Esther Sanchez has defeated challenger Ryan Keim by just over 200 votes. The county has until Thursday to finalize the results, and then the California Secretary of State will certify them by December 13th.
All right, just goes to show how important that vote is. Today, the Imperial Beach City Council will discuss regulations for tenant protections. Tenants at Hawaiian Gardens and Swell Apartments are asking the City Council to change local law. It currently allows landlords to give no-fault evictions for substantial remodeling. The apartments recently served eviction notices to all of their renters so that the new owners, two private equity firms, can renovate the apartments. And today, city leaders in Escondido are set to consider an ordinance that could make the city the first in the county to ban short-term vacation rentals within 500 feet of schools. We talked to one property owner who shared how this will not only impact him, but also clients who rely on short-term rentals for housing.
To affect my business considerably. However, forget about that. It's going to affect my clients, hardworking people that have saved up their money, that own houses.
The City Council opened this discussion last year after it got multiple noise and parking complaints from residents. City data shows that there are about 30 short-term rentals in the city within 500 feet of schools.
Well, SeaWorld's Christmas celebration is happening right now.
That's right, the most wonderful time of the year. Yeah. Local theme park has special holiday treats and entertainment, and that's where we find CBS 8's Chris Grow live there with a look at all the fun. Chris, you have the festivities going not only in your outfit, but all around you.
Got to make sure that we are on brand here this holiday season. And I tell you what, we spoke about Santa Claus and how he had his cottage there, where, of course, you can go ahead, take a picture with him, maybe tell him what it is that you may want for Christmas. Well, Mrs. Claus, she's not the only one with the stage, so to speak. So she'll be here throughout the holiday season, of course, sharing some stories. But at the same time, this is an opportunity for you to maybe grab a bite to eat, to sit down and hang out with Mrs. Claus. So we'll bring in Tyler here to talk about both the story time that we have going on, but then also, like I said, you can grab a grilled cheese and listen to maybe the tales that Mrs. Claus will bring.
Yeah, so Mrs. Claus will tell stories multiple times throughout the day, but then the last one, as it gets to dusk, she'll actually light the tree also. So it's an exciting ceremony, so I recommend grab a snack. You know, we've got crepes, beignets, cinnamon rolls, grilled cheese, pozole, tamales, like really food from kind of everywhere.
Yeah. I've noticed now, being to SeaWorld a couple of times this year, you guys are really upping that food game here. What do you think sort of stands out here with that holiday menu, if you will?
Sure, yeah. So the traditional grilled cheese with tomato bisque will always be my favorite, but we have some new ads this year, though, with a turkey pot pie, a tamale, and a pozole. I think almost every night you can find me eating those.
Well, and it's great, too, because when the temperature drops down, you want something warm. Now, as for you, again, you mentioned the story time. The tree lighting, that's the last story time that she will tell, right? And then we'd light the tree?
Yes, so that's the last story time she'll tell. And then that's separate from the big tree lighting also. Yes. So lots of tree lightings here at SeaWorld.
We've got all of our trees lit because it is holiday season, and I want to bring in three special guests here right now before we send things back. We've got JoJo here with some special friends. We've got Tinsel and we've got Holly. JoJo, who is who again? I know I've been asking you all morning.
No worries. This is Holly and her half-sister Tinsel. They're each about a year and a half old, and they're Santa's reindeer in training, so still in flight school.
So we've got our reindeers. Real quick, the antlers.
The antlers.
Yes. I was going to say horns. The antlers. Females with reindeers can have antlers.
Yeah. Reindeer and caribou are the only deer species that both males and females have antlers, and reindeer are actually the domestic version of the caribou. So they're a farm-raised version of the wild caribou that lives in the entire Arctic Circle. But these two, they're awfully cute on their second set of antlers, and they actually lose and regrow those antlers every single year. It's kind of a cool process, yeah.
Okay. Well, JoJo, thank you so much. And carrots and celery, we'll leave that out for them as well with the cookies. Eric and Evan?
Yeah, you got to feed them well so those antlers can continue to grow. That's
exactly.
a nice crown that the one had there.
And perfect timing for them to have Arctic Rescue right behind it.
20
Time
pointer.
of the year for it, right?
That's right.
That's
Looking
fun.
good.
I was just like Chris, where I was like, what are they called? The antlers, right?
Yes.
That's it.
And when you talk about their crown, you count the points. So like if they're a 14 pointer, they have 14 different points on them.
Interesting. I didn't
That's
know
usually
that was
the size of them.
decider. Interesting.
Kinda
They look great out there. Get
Yeah.
out to SeaWorld and enjoy all the festivities. They have food there. The food looked delicious. Grilled cheese, tamales, enjoy it all. We have a very mild start to our morning here. The biggest impact is a little bit of fog out there along the coastline. So by the time we get through the next hour or two, we should start to see some substantial improvements, and we'll move in the direction of sunshine, right? This has been the day-to-day trend where the clouds are invading by the morning and then pulling their way back by the afternoon. And really not even by the afternoon, it's closer to mid-morning or so, 8, 9, 10 a.m. that we see most of that clearing take shape. So 63 out along the coastline, 75 for our inland valleys, 68 for the mountains, and 80 for the deserts. Here's that satellite loop of how far east those clouds are spreading. Not too far east, honestly. I mean, over the last hour or so, they've been able to pull back just a hair. You can see what we're working with as far as visibility goes, meaning how low to the ground those clouds are. Fallbrook is at less than 1/3 of a mile, so they're seeing the most trouble out there. Otay Mesa is next in line at 2 miles of visibility, and then 4 for Miramar and Kearney Mesa. So still working with a bit of that fog. We're going to start to see Santa Ana's pick up. That's going to drive our winds offshore, and that means pushing the clouds away. In turn, temperatures are going to be warming up with a lot of sunshine in the forecast for Friday and Saturday. Upper 70s, nearly 80 degrees possible. This is more than 10 and in some cases 15 degrees warmer than normal for Friday and Saturday afternoon. But in the meantime, today and tomorrow, we're just on that slow and steady warming trend, and we're hanging on to those clouds just like this in the morning. 6:36 is that sunrise. Let's look at your traffic, how your drive times are doing outside right now. So far, not impacted much on the 805 northbound, the 94 westbound, or the 5 southbound. All three are looking at smooth 60 or 60 plus mile per hour speeds out there. Looking at your border wait times, we are currently looking at a 90-minute wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry, about an hour and a half. It'll get you across a bit quicker at the Otay Mesa Port of Entry. Should take you about an hour in total.